pick six journey here. 6 different races, 6 different guests, and I have the coziest man on Twitter, Mr. Chase Sessoms at of Oaklawn at Notorious OTB. How are you doing, my friend?
Man, I'm good. I'm good. It's as you were feeling too. It's a very busy week. So I've got get this appearance in, and I can take a nap and then do it again in the morning.
Yeah, it's it's been just a crazy couple days. But I love doing this stuff. This stuff's
Oh
fun.
yeah,
So, and I always appreciate you inviting me on your stuff and taking time out of your day to come and do a race with me here.
yeah.
And
I had to
yeah,
get over a lot of things for that to be okay, but we made it. We
we
made it to the other
finally
side.
made it. By the way, are you so who obviously you got your Notorious OTB. Who you got lined up this week? What else you got coming out?
Let's see. I'm doing a Thursday and Friday pick show with Ryan Dickey tomorrow. We're going to hit like 6 different races that I've got picked out over Friday and Saturday, and then Friday I am going to do a solo show that is going to be essentially just adjusting based off of what we saw on Friday at the Oaks. Kind of if I'm going, coming up with some ideas of how to play Saturday based off of how Friday looked.
Nice, nice. I also have something coming with Ryan Dickey. We'll see. We'll see if he.
He's a good dude.
I
He's a
love
very
Ryan.
good dude.
He's so much fun. I gotta
Yeah,
visit him up at
he's
it.
funny. He cracks himself up routinely.
Yeah,
Oh, up in
yeah.
Waukegan.
He's up in Waukegan. And I've been meaning to go up there. Um, we're planning a day where we're gonna go to the Tiki Bar and then go over to
Oof.
Gene and Jude's, which is like that's like one of the best hot dogs in the country. So it's I don't know.
Okay.
It'll be a date. Uh,
R.I.P.
I
Hot
love hot dogs.
Dogs.
No ketchup though.
So
Oh,
hot
hot
dogs,
dogs.
son.
Yeah, I never went when they were around. So um,
It was amazing.
speaking of amazing though, we
Yep.
got race 4 on Saturday, which happens to be leg 3 of this pick six here. The Derby City Distaff, presented by Kendall Jackson Winery. Ooh, fancy,
Ooh.
fancy.
Well, KJ, as we call it in the
Really?
industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, just call it KJ. KJ Shard.
Funniest story. I was at the store one day and I was buying or maybe was it you who told me the story? Somebody told me the story. Buying a bottle of Kim Crawford, and like the person just could
Mm-hmm.
not get over, like the person checking him out was like, I forgot that someone told me the story. I thought it was me, but they're like, "Did you know Kim Crawford is a man?" And like just sat there and like held this person hostage for like 30 seconds talking about how she couldn't believe Kim Crawford was a man. So
Did she feel betrayed? Was she worried that her her grapefruity Pinot Gris from New Zealand was going to be like tainted? Like was
I
it
don't
going to
know.
taste like
The
balls
only
now or
time I've ever
something?
bought a bottle of Kim Crawford wine was to make fondue. So
You really taste the
yeah, there you
mineralness of
go.
the scrotum. Yep.
Anyways, yeah. So this is race 4 here. You got a 4-5 favorite in Goodnight Olive, who, I mean, is just kind of a super horse at this point. You know, is only got 1 second. Is 7-1 in 8 starts. The 1 second was at Gulfstream for first race as a maiden, and has just rattled off 7 straight wins, including the Philly Mare Sprint, Breeders' Cup last year. And I thought her Madison was okay. She ended up winning by a length, but it looked a little bit harder than you thought it would be. I don't know if she was just eased up, just wasn't cranked up for it, like what happened there. But I don't know if I'm really concerned too much. I think horizontally, I think I'm still going to use her. I might just single her, but that is probably going to be the most single horse in the sequence, don't you think?
I think it is. I think it's I think it's going to, first of all, you have a ton of lazy people who aren't going to dig into the pace or into Goodnight Olive's form, or even take the time to project where the form will be like next race out. And they'll see the 4 to 5, they'll see Chad Brown, they'll see Irad Ortiz, and that's going to be an auto single for a lot of people at 4 to 5. And I do think the horse is extremely beatable at 4 to 5. And because of that, I think it puts you in toss or single territory. And for me, I think it's probably should be a
Well, where did you
toss.
kind of end up going then if you were going to toss Goodnight Olive here?
So I think the most competitive horse in the race with Goodnight Olive is going to be Steve Asmussen's 3 Wicked Halo for Winchell Thoroughbreds with Tyler Gaffleone. Tyler, it's a gun runner baby. It seems to it has the same issue of a little bit of a speed figure regression that Goodnight Olive has. However, you have an excuse here of you have a muddy track. This horse has been doing nothing but improving and staying pretty steady. I love the works. I love the real slow works going into it. This is like the ass man super move. I think not really sweating Wicked Halo too much. I think they're gonna get similar trips. I think Wicked Halo could even rate a little bit further if she wanted to, but I think that is the one that you take a shot with, along with Go Dolphin, because that's my Dolphin, Matarea and Brad Cox. Like I think Brad Cox and Godolphin are going to have a fucking monster weekend. I'm talking from the maiden special weights all the way through the big races, and I really like Matarea because um, I can get a horse that's going to get pretty much the exact same trip, have the exact same tactics as Goodnight Olive. That's going to be, have plenty of pace to run into, but the price is about 3 times better. And so I'd much rather just take my shot with a few horses that I think are competitive, and just toss the horse and see if I can get out alive here.
Yeah. You know, I if I were to use another horse in this race, I don't know if I would use another one of the shorter prices, like the second or third choice, like kind of like Wicked Halo or Matarea. I would probably go just full. Let's take a long, long price in this race, and
Mr.
I
Destiny.
kind of like Travel Column. I mean, Travel Column, kind of bounced around a little bit with, Brad Cox barn, then when the Bill Mott's barn, and has some really, really nice races, especially like as a 3-year-old, won the Fairground Oaks. And, they tried cutting her back last year, and I thought it was very successful here at Churchill Downs. Ran a really, really nice race, an optional claimer. Came back here at Keeneland and just kind of didn't fire first off the layoff, and also kind of in the off the barn change. So second start here with Paulo Lobo, you get Gerardo Corrales aboard. And if there's one thing Gerardo Corrales knows how to do, it's to get a horse on the lead in Kentucky and maybe steal a race. So I don't know. I'm really interested here for Travelcom because I don't really see any other, just full out speed in this race.
I think it comes from hot and sultry at the rail, and the reason I say that is I think this is a legit sprinter that they got Oaks fever for, or not Oak. Well, I guess not Oaks, but Watch Royen or something fever. And they stretched her out, and I think the cutback is big time, because I do think that now you see like that maiden breaker was a 21-second opening quarter going to 6 furlongs. I think you see a horse put up that sort of fractions. I think that's what the horse is most comfortable doing. That's why they tried to just go ahead and burn, send her on the front, last out in the apple blossom. Um, yeah, I think hot and sultry and travel column link up. Now, it also could happen that, I mean, hot and sultry's tactics are a little bit of guesswork here, because there's been that kind of variation in distance and everything. And with that being you know with that being said, I remember Jackie's Warrior, and a couple other horses wiring sprint races on Friday last year, because the fractions were so soft. I mean, The horse doesn't have to make its setup. I could actually be talked into including Travel Column along with those two that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, and just kind of looking at the at your favorite tool whatsoever. I know you hate it, but looking at optics,
I don't. I listen. If it works for you, I don't. I don't mind it, but just don't boom obvious me with optics, please. That's dickish.
but they do have the four as kind of the early horse. They do have it as a big old circle though, so whether or not the horse is going to be able to hold on to that speed will
Yeah,
remain a question. Obviously, Goodnight Olive, you
just a
look
bird on the
looms,
Q1 Q4 wire there.
looks
Oh man. Oh
yeah
Q1
looks
Q3. Sorry.
looks huge there, but yeah. Yeah, I thought this was a kind of a straightforward race. I thought, I mean, it does help that this is probably the first race I've had to talk about that doesn't have 14, 15 horses in. So, as much as I think we all love handicapping those big races that have, price potential with all those horses, I think every once in a while it's nice to have a little 6 or 7 horse, little reprieve, a little here. So,
There's a lot more gamesmanship and less
yeah.
luck to it. When you have these sort of they're damn good races for a reason.
Um, as I've asked all my guests so far, 30-second thought on the Derby.
So I don't believe the hype that the pace is actually a lot faster than everyone was initially thinking. So I do think that your winner comes from someone who's within first, second, or third at the first call. So I think it's either going to come down to Derma Sotogake, King's Barn, or Verifying. I really like King's Barn after the draw. I really don't like the pace projection given how far Derma Sotogake had to go out wide. I'm not crazy about the time form pace projection because actually I kind of think Kingsbarn has a good chance to be out on the lead on the rail, and if that happens, look the fuck out. I am I seeing is a little bit of believing with Derma Sotogake. I will back that horse, but you know what? I'm flipping picks. I've been saying all week Derma. I'm gonna go Kingsbarn.
Kingsbarn, interesting.
I'm going Kingsbarn. Listen, it's the coronation of King Charles. If you believe in conspiracy, sheeple, and two, the speed is there. Like we're past the days of it doesn't. You have to have a heavily raced 2-year-old to win the Kentucky Derby. Justify proved that wrong, and finish the Curse of Apollo. We've seen other horses do it now. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with just a big, fast, strong 2-year-old running them into the ground. And I don't think we've seen the best of Kingsbarn yet.
Nice. It's a bold take. Jay and I recorded our Kentucky Derby stuff, and
I'm like 60-40 Kingsbarn
I love it.
Dermasotogake. That's
I mean,
how I
I love
feel at
Derma
this point.
Sotogake. So, but yeah, real quick, Chase, why don't you plug what you got going on this week?
Yeah, check out the my horse racing pod, the Notorious OTB, brought to you by the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. I had this big galoot on with me on Monday. You can get our post draw reaction. Then I'm going to be recording a show with Ryan Dickey tomorrow, where we're going to be doing Friday and Saturday picks. I'll be on the Sports Gambling Podcast tomorrow afternoon, also talking Derby weekend. And then I believe I'm going to be playing blackjack on live stream with Cameron Kerr and Sean Green Thursday evening.
Awesome. All right, Chase.
Wow, it's a blessing.
Well, Chase, thanks for taking time out of your day and doing this with me.
Yeah, man, always glad to be
All right.
here. Thank you for having me.